That's one fancy trailer. Hey y'all, today on the farm we just took delivery of the new used KMC 6-row flex shaker. This is what I'm gonna be digging my peanuts with this year. If you watch this channel on, you've seen us use these very types of shakers in the past. We have a pair of them out here that my brother-in-law uses now, and this one will be mine. So now there's 3 of them out here, 3 KMC 6-row flex shakers, and the reason they're all the same is because that is the best way to dig. The best way to invert peanuts is this machine right here, the KMC flex shaker. There is none better. You can't beat it no kind of way. Now that the shaker's off the trailer, it's time to get after it in the soybean field. My soybeans are pretty clean and they're nice and tall now, but right around the edges wasn't sprayed that good. When I was spraying, the irrigations were parked out there and lightning had struck the wire, so they could not be moved. They were all stuck in place. Now I've moved them, but there is grass in the edge of my soybeans, so we have a spray rig rigged up on this Ranger. Have a little tank here with a little boom sprayer, and I got a wand, and we're gonna go around all the way around the field, all around the edge, getting all the grass out away from my soybeans and spraying the pivot points, getting everything cleaned up so it's clean all out to the very edge of the soybeans, plus a little bit more. Trying to do is establish a little bit of a perimeter. The soybeans are clean out there, but we got grass and weeds right here on the edge, and we don't want that. We want a little bit of a perimeter, because these grasses, morning glories, come in the ditch, they'll wrap over that first row or two, and that'll make them very difficult to harvest. So we have to spray all around the edge here, have a nice kill streak all the way around the field, so that when we're getting this last row or two, we can harvest them without much of an issue. You can notice right here that the first couple of rows have grass in them, and that is where that irrigation was sitting when lightning struck it. And I come out here and sprayed the field, but I couldn't move the system because I had no electricity, because the wire had been melted on the ground. And so when I sprayed it, we couldn't move it, and we had this grass growing up. So now that we've been able to move the system, we got to kind of broadcast spray right out to the edge of the field where the system was sitting. the second week of July. These beans are up over 4 foot tall. That's unusual for our area. May be common in other areas, not real common in our area. See beans this big this time of year. I planted these beans on May the 3rd with a population of 145,000 seed per acre on 36-inch rows. You see how big they are here, second week of July. And the crop looks good right here. And my goal, my objective with this crop was to try to set a new county record. Our county record is not that high. I thought that's an obtainable goal. So my goal is to set a new county record for Clay County, Georgia on soybean yield. And if you look at this portion of the field, I think that's going to be easy to do. The beans look so good because we've had an unusual amount of rain, whole lot of rain this year, and not as much heat as we normally get. It hadn't been as hot as it normally gets, so it's been optimal growing conditions, but it's been a little bit too optimal. And as such, I have this large section of the field is drowned out. I have another section right over there the same way. So that's a pretty big area. It was underwater. I think it's been underwater 5 different times now. Of course, it killed the soybeans, and it's going to take away from my total yield. So when they look at my yield, they're going to say, hey, he planted 110 acres in this field and he only harvested X amount of soybeans. Well, there's going to be a big zero on all these acres in this bottom that's going to pull down that higher number in the good beans. So it's going to hurt me as far as having a high average on my entire crop, but they do in yield competitions pick out a good area of the field. They measure off 3 acres or 4 acres and try to see what the yield is in that tiny area. So there's a little bit of hope that I can still claim a high yield on a small area, but areas like this and areas like this are going to pull my whole yield down. This area here, you'll notice the beans are ankle tall, and it's not because they don't get irrigation here. This is an irrigated portion of the field. It is wet. The problem with this portion of the field is it's too close to the woods, and so the deer keep it ate off. You can come by out here right at sundown. You may see 17, 20, 25 deer grazing like a wild herd of cows. It's just wild cows is all they are. But they're out here just grazing, eating the tops of all these beans off, keeping them ate down. All this was planted the same day, same conditions, everything equal. But right here, we're ankle tall, big clean middles, and back there, it's up around my stomach, and there's no middles. It's just solid. So you got a lot of different things to contend with. Here's an example of our deer damage here. No leaves. And it actually looks a lot better now than it did earlier. They were keeping it ate off pretty good, but my neighbor's peanuts, so that hill there has distracted them a little bit, so the soybeans been able to put out a little more and come back some. But there's always obstacles with farming. If it was easy, everybody would do it. It's hard to make everything work right, even on a good year, and this is an exceptional year. My dad said in his lifetime, we've never had this much good weather, this much rain and cool of a summer. So it's optimal year, hoping for optimal results. I thank all of you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. That pond's not supposed to be there, y'all. That's a cotton field.